Hey, this is the World Advice Channel. What I want to talk about is something that I've had on my mind, and I'm certain a lot of people have had on their mind too, especially with the recent developments for the website known as YouTube, which is a question of, is YouTube screwed? Like, like what that means is that, is YouTube going to continue to get worse and worse and worse, or is it going to continue to possibly stabilize or even possibly get better, and who knows, might even go back to how good it used to be years ago. So for this video, I'll answer that question. Well, is YouTube screwed? The simple answer to that question, to give a straightforward answer, is that, to put it bluntly, yes, I think YouTube is screwed, because the truth of the matter is about YouTube, aside from the fact that they've clearly shown, that, yeah, we don't really care what people say or how much people, on YouTube, everything from big channels to everyday people complain about certain developments and stuff, yada, yada, yada. The bunch of people who are not happy with how YouTube's going. Aside from even that, they've just shown that they are just doing everything to screw YouTube up even more. Everything from taking away the dislike button to taking away people's channels and so on and so forth without even asking really any questions, and all this type of foolishness they've been doing for quite some time, to restricting what people can say, even swear words and all that type of stuff. And now we have this new development that they're going to get rid of ad blockers. So it's just going to make things even worse. So now you have to watch these stupid ads. You can't even get rid of them anymore. You watch a video, for crying out loud, that's like 3 minutes long, you're going to get an ad or something, which just shows you how goofy, which shows you how much YouTube has fallen from the good old glory days of how good it used to be. So that simply answered a question about about YouTube, is that, as I was saying before, is that YouTube is screwed. Because the thing about the world that I think a lot of us are realizing, which answers the question of why YouTube's screwed, is that the world we live in more and more nowadays is simply a very corporate world. Everyone is interested in making easy money. And obviously, when you go on a website, something that's controversial, where people say every and anything they want, and obviously people get offended and they run away and they tell people and stuff and this and that, is obviously clearly bad for business, because then you have a lot of people who might claim that they don't want to use a website that much and this and that, just in general. To sum it up, as usual, some people just always find a way to ruin everything for everyone else, you know but, as usual, nothing new, same old, same old. Whether this is school or or online, there's always those type of people. But anyway, like I was saying before, the truth of the matter is, with those kinds of people, obviously their days, whether they ruin things or not, they still have purchasing power. And obviously, these people who run these websites like YouTube want to make as much money as possible. And obviously, having something where people controversial takes the risk, takes away the opportunity for them to make money. And the truth of the matter is that, just in general, with how much YouTube has been going downhill, they're going to obviously not just focus on taking away things clearly that clearly gave it some degree of soul, YouTube some degree of soul. They're also going to do things to kind of monetize it and make as much money, such as this ad blocker thing and all that type of stuff, because that's a path YouTube's going down. It's not about giving people freedom of speech or this or that. It's simply about, well, making sure we make as much money as possible. The truth of the matter is, it's not any of that type of stuff. It's just about how can we make as much money as possible. Not to mention, there's not much competition for video sharing, um, out there so they can do whatever the heck they want to do. You see what I'm saying? So to answer your question, obviously YouTube's going to only go downhill from here. It's just going to get worse. They've already, there's already enough people who go on this website who have my bad. But yeah, who've clearly screwed it up, because they get offended by everything. They can't have some degree of thick skin, as well as, of course, you can't forget about those goofy neo-Nazis and all those hate groups who, let's keep it real, they actually do ruin things too, because they go around starting fights and all this stuff and just getting certain groups of people very agitated and irritated, and stuff. So they ruin things too. They're not off the hook either. Let's get that straightened up too. They ruin things just as much as they ruin things a lot too. But even still, you'd at least imagine some people would, you know, kind of realize, well, we still need to have freedom of speech regardless. But anyway, as I was saying before, that group, that group who get offended, yeah, they ruin everything. So anyway, aside from even that, the truth of the matter is, as I was saying before, YouTube is all about making money. It's all about how can we make a profit. And since no, and since the end of the CD era and like the time people used to buy physical copies, whether it could be CDs for music, CDs like DVDs and stuff, they just haven't found out a way how to make money. And these companies and stuff, not to mention a lot of these people who own these big companies and stuff, are always criticizing YouTube, are always trying to put lawsuits and this and that on YouTube, and even that costs money to pay out to get good quality lawyers to defeat these people and stuff. So the truth of the matter is, YouTube's just gonna get worse. It's just gonna get worse because they need to make money, and selling out and screwing up the glory of YouTube is simply what's needed for them in order to make a profit, and that's simply the truth of the matter. So if you're expecting YouTube to ever reach its golden age again, may I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think it's going to happen. I think YouTube was going to outlast it. It was a good experiment. Especially with the fact of how important it is for our society, whether you want to say society or even civilization for that matter. It gave everyday people the ability to have freedom of speech and get themselves out there, and have a random nobody become someone successful. Now it just sucks now. It just sucks. It got ruined. And I feel one of the biggest reasons it got ruined, absolutely without a shadow of a doubt, is because people didn't have vision. People were not thinking, okay, how can we think 5, 10 years in the future? If anything, they didn't do that for YouTube. People were just simply going on YouTube, and especially the founders of YouTube, they were just thinking on a day by day basis. They didn't think in the future, and that's why YouTube's collapsing. So, because they didn't think towards the future, I don't think they took into different things in consideration, like also the fact that you have people who just, well, are just troublemakers and all that sort of stuff. They didn't think towards the future and predict all the things. That's why it's kind of going on the way it is. So, not only is this video about like talking about the fate of YouTube, it's talking about even a lesson. If you really want things not to suck in life and things to work, you have to prepare yourself for, you know, for, for the future. If you just think in the short term, it's just going to fall apart and everything's going to suck. So anyway, this is my video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you like this video and like videos like this, remember to thumbs it up and hit the subscribe button. And this is all I have to say, and simply put it, later.